AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Cathy, Kelley, Sonya, Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and Evan Mack is, currently saving crime, but we have special guest, saving crime? Yeah, fighting crime, that's it. We have a special guest. He is Kings County Kid from Brooklyn, New York.
But what?
Flobo Boys.
Thank you so much for having me, TK. The #1 wrestling show. We actually had a tournament. #1 is on top. It was sweet. It was great.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the show, we always have amazing guests, and today is no exception. She is a part-time superhero, full-time badass, and wrestler. Please welcome Morgan. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm great. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I am fine. Flobo, I think Flobo is good too.
Oh yeah, I'm 5-star, man.
5.
Right, that's good.
I'm meeting Flobo and Evan. I don't know what to do. All right, so let's kind of just get into it. How did you get started in wrestling?
Oh gosh. So I was a 280-pound drama nerd fresh out of high school.
Wait, 280 pounds?
Respect.
280 pounds.
Wow.
Ad on the radio, and it said, "Achieve your dreams, be that next superstar on Monday Night Raw." And I was like, "Oh wow, I think I want to try that." Just having no clue whatsoever what I was getting into, so I called the number and met with the guy that was running the school, who was a complete scam artist.
Oh.
But I ended up getting some base training from him, and then I ended up going to Steve Catcher Gatorwolf School, and he was in Provo, Utah, and I trained with him, and then ultimately I began to train with the Navajo Warrior. Nice. So it got started all by just one random radio commercial.
Wow, crazy. So, but I don't even put your what are you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say I totally commend your dedication. I too weigh 375 pounds, and it's so hard to make that choice to go ahead and forward. But I guess that leads to my first question. Having that first experience in pro wrestling with a scam artist, a lot of people would have just turned around and say, "Well, it wasn't for me," but you decided to keep pressing on. I mean, what made you decide to keep going?
I was so hooked. I took that first role on gym mats, mind you, in the top of an athletic club. And I was like, I think I can do this. I think this might be fun. And I started, a lot of people don't know because my career's been so up and down. I started in 1999. And so China was a huge influence on me. I saw somebody that was larger than life on TV, looked like she was having this killer time. And I was like, oh man, I want to do that. So I kept rolling on these mats, and I'm like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And then, obviously that turned out to be a bad break. But then thankfully through Gator Wolf, I met the Navajo Warrior, and then it just sort of went from there.
And now, so you said 1999, that's when you started. From that point on to meeting the Navajo Warrior, when was your first match?
2000.
Okay.
I was in City, Utah. It was a high school fundraiser for their football team. I had practiced the match 176,000 times-ish or so. Was really excited. Came out, was full of energy, tripped over a power cord, landed on my face, popped back up, and got into the ring and wrestled my match.
Oh, so you did that before Titus. Because Titus did.
World's life?
Yeah. You should put that.
Straight up fall.
Oh, goodness. So that was in 2000, and now we're in 2019. And I see on your Instagram you have a daughter, correct?
I do. Yep. Keely.
So was that the moment, the break that you took, or what was the timeline of becoming a mother / wrestler / badass?
Keely was the break. I kind of decided that I was gonna start to taper off. I started training a couple of girls, Marty Daniels and Gabrielle Arce. I don't know if you've seen anything about them. Gabrielle Arce, she's at 3D Academy now, and nice. Marty Daniels just had a WWE. She had the full PC tryout about 6 months ago.
Awesome.
So I felt like, oh, I've trained my legacy. I can sort of move on and do whatever. And wrestling is this big, black, wonderful, beautiful hole that pulls you back in, and you just have to keep going. Like, you just have to.
Mm-hmm.
So I took about 5 years off, came back, started working with UCW Zero in Salt Lake City again, and just kind of started putting my name out there. So.
And now what's changed? Like, we're seeing, women's evolution as far as WWE, and Impact has been doing it for a while. What's changed from when you started in 1999 to now as far as women's wrestling and, the indie scene, according to you?
So when I started, it was sex and catty and just not about what a real athlete a woman can actually be. What it's evolved into now is so much more. I mean, you have these girls, the girls on the indie scene right now, like I live with the girls on WWE and the girls on Impact, but I mean, the girls on the indie scene now, you are never going to meet a better athlete than those girls. They train just as hard as the guys, if not harder, because they finally have realized their full potential. So it's been cool to see that like huge evolution in everybody's mindset.
Yeah, that's definitely. Is anyone out there that maybe be off the mainstream radar that we should be paying more attention to as they make their way up their ranks?
So Marty Daniels, of course, I'm going to put her out there in the universe. She is absolutely fantastic. Thunder Kitty, she's back east now. She has done a lot with Shine and Shimmer, and she has this fantastic, like, old-timey wrestler gimmick, and just she's absolutely amazing, just amazing. Paloma Star, she's the Sriracha Muchacha, I believe. She's in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
She was the first woman's graduate from Taz's dojo.
Okay.
They're amazing, and I think the only thing that's really held a lot of these girls back is, like, Danny's a little bit older. Danny's in her 30s. Thunder Kitty's got a more unique look to her. Like, I think the reason that some of us don't get picked up is that we don't fit that, like, not supermodel profile, but, like, we don't have that perfect for TV face. We can
right,
with a lot of makeup effort, but we just don't have that ideal look yet.
Yeah, I think that's changing, with WoW, even AEW, it's not your, and with WWE, I mean, WWE still is a little bit more commercial, but I think that's changing. Like, we're on our 90th plus show and we've maybe had 3 or 4 returning guests. Like, there's never... a lack of female wrestlers and talented female wrestlers. So, I think the look of that is changing, especially with something like WoW. You just see, every woman from different size, shape, color at WoW. So I think people are taking a look at that and seeing that, representation, matters.
Yeah, it's huge that we're actually, like, the broader picture is getting out there. And like I said, it's been so nice and such a relief because my 2 stepdaughters, they want to wrestle. And so teaching them that they don't have to fit that mold. But, being able to see that kind of thing has helped them as well.
Now, what else do you want to see as far as career-wise?
So for me right now, I'm doing a lot of work with the United Wrestling Network. David Marquez and Mick Greenwood and those guys have been absolutely fantastic to me. And I actually got a little promo blitz about getting a shot at the NWA women's title against Allison Kay or Sienna, or I'm not sure what they call her now. To have that shot, I would love. I was really random little known fact. I was the NWA Rocky Mountain Women's Champion in like 2002-ish, probably. Mm-hmm. I wrestled at the Corn Palace in South Dakota. And I wrestled against Madison, who was the NWA champion at that time. And so, like, having those little opportunities and the possibility of being able to have that opportunity one more time, like, I totally want to at least do that to show my kids, my students, you know, you can do it. If you put your head and your heart into it, you can do it.
So currently the United Wrestling Network circuit is Hollywood, Arizona. Are there any ones I'm missing there? As far as
Hollywood and Arizona are the big ones. They are moving into Nevada.
Okay.
Now too, and I believe they have one, I want to say, in Memphis, and they're partnered with China as well. So
yeah, big things are coming.
There's a lot of opportunities for sure, and there's a lot of good girls that have gone through there. So, I mean, each of us has a really good shot.
So, in the mind's eye, when you envision success for yourself, what exactly do you picture? I've had a lot of successes. To me, I've had a lot of successes. I've survived in wrestling this long. I tore my hamstring completely off the bone in a wrestling match 2 years ago, and came back probably stronger than ever this last go round. So that's been another success. But probably being able to see one of my girls or one of my opponents that I worked really, really close with finally get like their big break and their big TV time and big TV shots, like that would be probably my greatest success.
Now, you've gone up or had matches with quite a few women. I mean, obviously starting 1999. Wow, it seems like so long ago. It is long ago. Is there anybody else that you want to have a match against that you haven't had a match with?
I want to have a match with Jazz. She's on my list.
She's awesome.
Mercedes Martinez is extremely high on my list. I was fortunate enough and I got one bucket list match with Ray's. I would like another one because she was absolutely fantastic. I would like to work with Bonnie Maxim. She goes by Rain. She's in Hawaii. Sumi Sakai. The list is long.
Yeah.
Awesome Kong.
So many like amazing like female wrestlers. It's just hard. What I also noticed too is that it's like literally half a degree of separation. Like when I talk to or research on one wrestler, I'm like, oh my gosh, like she knows 10 of the wrestlers that's been on the show that I've spoken to. So it's really awesome that there's a unique network. It's different from the guys. The guys know each other, but they don't really like rock with each other like some of the females do.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, like I said, I think that's the nicer part about it too, is it's becoming more of a sisterhood. It's a lot less catty. I think we're all realizing that we're in this together, and the only way that we're going to evolve anything else is by doing it together as a team. So.
Excellent. That's pretty cool. You have a list of like, dream matches or what have you. But I guess my question is, when you have that opportunity to wrestle someone on your list, because I know that list was probably longer a couple of years ago, do you approach those matches a little bit differently when you're with someone, or you just treat it like a normal match, or do you try to do something special because it's someone that you ever were dreaming about wrestling with, or?
I try to like set like a new bar for myself. Like I wrestled Sarah Del Rey. I had an opportunity to wrestle Sarah Del Rey in Japan, and I wanted to better myself like 6 steps ahead of what I was ready for. And I was like, well, we can do this. And it didn't go as well as I planned. And so I keep like trying to find like these little things that are going to make them better. I wrestled Jungle Girl. Like I had a goal that I wanted to take that splash. I want to be able to help them look as good as what they're helping me look as good as. That sounded terrible. I want them to look as good as what I want.
You want them to look as good as they're making you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sign of a craftsperson. I respect that.
And now, has there been any the word's not backlash. Has there been any discrimination because you are a mom? Because, so I know quite a few female wrestlers in particular where they're holding off having kids because they feel like they're going to get penalized. Has that been the case for you? Or it's like, you decided to take the 5 years off, and when you came back, was that an issue? Or has there been any issues that way?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't really been an issue. Pretty much everywhere I've gone has accepted my daughter with open arms, which has been great. And also a curse because Kelley was born with a natural wrestling gene. She learned how to run the ropes before she could do anything really else. She does her own rolls. She's up to tiger rolls now. She's tried her own flip bumps, much to my fear. But no, I don't get a lot of backlash with her. She knows how to act in a locker room. She knows how to stay out of the way. She loves the heels. She's really big on her heels. So yeah, it's been easy, really. I'm probably lucky in that sense, but I work with incredibly great crews. The United Network crew is awesome. The Impact Zone Wrestling crew that I work with out here in Arizona, they are absolutely fantastic. The Utah guys, they were great, so no complaints at all.
Here's a question I ask a lot of lifelong wrestling fans. Who was the first heel that you appreciated growing up?
The first heel that I appreciated growing up was Roddy Piper.
Okay, yeah.
That guy, he got under my skin, but I loved him more than anything too. It was between him and Bob Backlund. They were the two that was just like, they would get me so much. And the funny thing is, my family lineage is I am Scottish, and so you would think like I would have this like great bonding thing with Roddy Piper, but every time I saw him, I was just like, oh.
I love it.
Now, where do you hope to see women's wrestling as far as, you're going to continue on and build your legacy, but just in general, where do you hope to see it go?
We've already headlined WrestleMania. We've already had our own pay-per-views. What I would like to see is more independent style, like AEW style women's pay-per-views, or like Respect Women's Pro Wrestling pay-per-views. I want to see those indie girls get put out there and showcased, because they have just as much to offer as those girls that are recognized, if not more. Right. Even. And I think, or matching up between the big ones, the WWEs and the AEWs, and pulling in some of the girls from Respect or some of the girls from Shine or something like that. Yeah. I think that would be phenomenal for both sides.
Yeah. And with the advent of social media too, it's just so much, there's a lot more content to sift through, but it's also so much easier to get your name out there too. So that's a definite benefit. But what we are going to do right now, we're going to do rapid hot tags. Women's Wrestling Rapid Hot Tags. So we're going to hit you with a few questions. You're going to say whatever the first thing that comes to your mind. So always early or always late?
Early.
Last person you text?
My husband.
If you were to listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Whatever album Return of the Mack is on by Mark Morrison. That is like the greatest song in the world, and whatever is on there, I'll listen to it forever.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I would want to fly.
Weekends or weekdays?
Weekends, by far.
Cubed ice or crushed ice?
Ooh. Pebbles, so cute, like but little.
Oh yeah, I know those ones. Late owl or early riser?
Both.
It just depends on the day. Dream dinner guest?
Depends on the day.
Dream dinner guest?
Oh Lord, Ozzy Osbourne.
Who would play you in a movie?
If I was lucky, Salma Hayek.
Okay. Last show you binge watched?
Believe it or not, Renegade.
Okay. And last meals, your last meal on Earth, what would it be?
It would be a ribeye steak by far.
Yes, agreed.
I'm not even like a meat eater anymore, and that just sounds delicious. Thank you so much for coming on. Where's your, as far as social media, where can people find you?
You can find me. My Twitter is @CrazyHotMorgan. My Instagram is @CrazyHotMorgan. You can find me smeared all over Facebook. I think it's all the same. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and United Wrestling Network at United Wrestling Network at Fight TV. You can find me at any of those places.
Well, thank you, Morgan, so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. We look forward to you and your daughter in the ring. I mean, daughter in the ring someday. You now. But thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. Look forward to the rest of your career in wrestling. Flobito, where can people find you?
You can find the local karaoke bar doing the Return to Mac cover. No, I'm kidding. On Twitter at FloboBoys, Instagram at Flobito, and Flobito.com.
Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Without you, we wouldn't be the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. You can follow us on all social media platforms at WPW Weekly. Don't forget to follow AfterBuzz TV on everything, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Make sure to listen and hit that like button as well. Give us 5 stars because we don't want to get anything less. And leave your comments. We are reading those comments. And are there any wrestlers, female wrestlers, that you want to see on the show? Please DM me at TK Trinidad or DM us at WPW Weekly and let us know who you would like to see. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Ciao.
Executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling. We ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.